Good morning, everybody. Thank you for signing in. I'm going to just copy this link real quick. Sorry, 30 seconds isn't fast enough for me. I definitely need to get faster at this, so my apologies. But once I get this posted, initial findings, I will get on here and start chatting. Nesara. I have heard about this in passing. There's been actually some clients that have asked me about it. And being in the financial markets, I am aware of what's going on economically around the world. At least I try to be, especially because it impacts all asset prices and such. It's kind of weird. I'm getting blurrier and so forth. But with that being said, my initial findings are, when you look at the World Economic Forum, which is meeting in Lucerne this year. Okay, and I'm not sure why I'm going blurry every once in a while. It's kind of weird because nobody's really using the Wi-Fi but me. This thing was founded by a guy named Klaus Schwab. Now, what's interesting about this person is he's been running this ever since he turned 33 years old back, I believe, in 1971. Now, why is that significant? Why is 1971 significant? Well, if you guys recall, Nixon was president of the United States. This was a few years before China, before China, I guess Nixon met with China to open up trade there. And no other than George H.W. Bush was the first person to go to China to open up trade when Chinese were only making $250 a year. And now the average person in China is making $10,000 a year. So we, the American people, financed this demise of our own infrastructure, our own population, our own wages. And I don't believe that these things are coincidental, that this individual started running this because you need prep time. It's not a flip of a switch. So if they started prepping this, George H. Walker Bush, he went on record saying he convinced Nixon to resign. Hillary Clinton was the one prosecuting him for Watergate, and supposedly they set him up. Nixon was too trusting of these people, and then we go into this bizarre scenario where the United States is the most dominant country on the planet, and these individuals decided to destroy us from within. And looking into this person's background, Klaus Schwab, I found that his father was he was an engineer for a company called Escher Weiss out of Switzerland. Escher Weiss, W-Y-S-S. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I wonder if the W-E-I-S-S is a version of that. That's probably worth exploring. I just did this on the fly this morning because I was just surprised that there was 100 people that want me to look into this, which I'm more than happy to, because after just the initial findings, this Escher Weiss was a company in Switzerland that was producing, from what it looks like, it might have been producing stuff for Germany. You guys know what was going on back then. And so that's pretty disturbing in its own right, because what they were working on is motors, like a specific type of motor that was developed. And, they also provided equipment to Hungary for coal mines and such that were used to fund the energy needs of Germany during the war, when Germany was trying to take over Europe and the world. And you have to go, there's this thing called the Holocaust findings. So if you go to archives.gov, research Holocaust, and you can start pulling up some of this stuff. You got to be creative of where to find this information, and you'll be shocked what you find. But what's interesting about this Escher Weiss group, that this Schwab was, whose dad worked there, Now, keep in mind, what kind of sparked my interest is this Schwab. He's got a PhD. He's got an MPA from Harvard, a PhD from Zurich, and he's got a lot of schooling to understand how to develop these, probably mischievous little systems. He may think that he's doing good work, but given his lineage of his family's history, I would be extremely concerned just on the surface of this guy. I have never really looked in the World Economic Forum thoroughly. I just know it exists. I think that it should be illegal for business leaders around the world to collude and meet up to discuss things. This was outlawed in the United States. It's, you can't, as companies, major corporations on U.S. soil, you can't meet up and price fix. There's laws on the books that prevent that. So I always found it very odd that business leaders, not on U.S. soil, can go to conferences where they all huddle up together. It's all private. Nobody knows what's going on. And they violate the laws that the United States passed to prevent this very thing. So this whole thing gets a little more crazy when you look at the company that bought out Escher Weiss. It's publicly traded, and you can go to Wikipedia and pull this up. That name of the company is called Sulzer, Sulzer. Now, this is an industrial engineering and manufacturing firm founded by Salman Sulzer Burnett in 1775. Hey, notice the year again? They love their numbers. 1776 for the U.S., 1775 for this. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but I think if this were part of the Illuminati, and once again, I'm not an expert on any of this stuff. I'm just telling you, I hear these little bits and pieces, but I do know that, was it Weiss something? That guy who founded that organization was a Bavarian individual. Bavaria, I believe, is in Switzerland. This Sulzer is in Switzerland. And, supposedly they were part of founding the United States in 1776. This company's founded in 1775. Oh, and by the way, this company, I'm just going to read you what the Wikipedia says. Out of political and personal considerations, Sulzer decided to sell subsidiaries in Germany by the beginning of the war. Yeah, I'm sure they did. You got to do the whitewashing of history after the fact. Sulzer, by the way, while they did this, was blacklisted by the Allies during World War II. But I thought they got rid of their subsidiaries. So how could you be blacklisted by the Allies, but you got rid of the stuff that was suspect? During World War II, due to an increase in trade with Axis countries, the Axis were was Germany and so forth. Sulzer refused to sign an agreement to limit the future sale of marine diesel engines to Axis countries and was blacklisted by the Allies as a result. Now, keep in mind, what were the Germans doing that they needed diesel engines? They had submarines. They were sinking ships. So this Sulzer buys out the company called Escher Weiss that this guy from World Economic Forum, this guy Klaus Schwab, founded in 1971. So, okay, you guys have definitely sparked my interest because I never looked into any of this stuff. I did go to World Economic Forum to try to download this Great Reset Plan document. I'd like to read it from scratch I haven't looked at anybody's commentary about it. I just kind of read some, little tidbits in passing. So I'd like to read the raw material from scratch, read the plan, look into some of the other companies and individuals who are involved. What is their family history? Who are they tied to? So when I went to that site, it was that report was not available. I'm not exactly sure if it's just not available for me, like somehow my web address. So this if you go to weforum.org, the Great Reset, they don't even hide it. If you go to the left, there's supposedly a report there, Explore the Analysis and Research And I don't know. Let me try it again. Maybe it'll work now that I'm on the phone, or not the phone, but here with you guys. Content unavailable. It's been removed, or you may not have permission to see it. So this kind of sucks. Do you guys know if anybody has that report downloaded somewhere? If they do, and it's a PDF, please ping me a message, and I would love for you to email it to me. If you email it to me, I will break down the report section by section in 5-10 minute clips and just walk you through what I think about it from the standpoint of the markets and the economics and what we can do to hopefully offset this. So just on the surface, you know, I am aware, and I've heard about this as a kid, just like anybody else. If you grew up in a religious household, that, you know, you should always be wary of them trying to chip us or you know, mark us with that type of technology. That's going to be a last stand. It's going to get pretty brutal if they attempt to do that, because we can't ever let that happen. I mean, that's just the way it is. If we do that, they're going to try to, you know, flow into our brains and control our thoughts and so forth. I don't know how many of you have ever had visions, or, you know, some people call them dreams. They could be visions. Sometimes they could be waking visions and dreams together. But I can tell you right now, last year, toward the end of the year, when I was doing all this work in Arizona, I started having some of the most insane, crazy, seem fictitious dreams I've ever had in my life, of things that I never imagined other human beings could do to each other. And it was so disturbing that, you know, I kind of woke up shaking from it, and you know, and I broke down crying when I told my wife about it the next day, because of the evil that I had witnessed in this dream, which I never read about anywhere, and I never heard anybody discuss it in anywhere. So it was extremely horrifying, and so I'm not sure why I got that, you know, but I do know that I kicked it up when I had that dream, and I started getting involved, you know, with some other things. So enough time has passed that I don't mind discussing some of this, you know, a couple of the things. I'm not going to go into the big details, but I guess it ties into this, which I didn't really think about. But, you know, some of these dreams I had have to do with how children are being treated, and they're being treated far worse than you could ever imagine. You know, if these visions are vivid, and unfortunately, a lot of what I see with these premonitions, it tends to turn out to be true, which is, you know, horrible. In this case, I wish I didn't have a good batting average on this one. And all I could say is I documented a lot of information and a lot of what I was seeing, and what I was seeing across the country at the time, and turned it over to proper authorities that were part of General Flynn's team. I did a 33-page write-up about things that I was seeing in the data and how it might tie into potential attacks on U.S. soil. If anybody read anything that I was writing on Twitter before they banned me, I was trying to drop as many hints as I could, without causing panic as to what was in the works. And so I guess what I'm saying is I need to figure out how to disseminate the information in a way that's prudent, but allows people to plan accordingly, to prevent this from ever happening on U.S. soil. And now thinking about that report that I wrote for General Flynn's team, and conversations I've had with stuff regarding this, I guess I need to look into this and see how this is tied together, because something's clearly going on, that these two things are not. I don't think they're coincidental. They have to be linked. So Anyways, thanks, guys. You got to drag me into another rabbit hole. I can't, you know. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm laughing about it because it's just, I don't know. It just seems, it does seem like a dream, and it's all made up, right? Like this, or a nightmare in this case, because just I can't believe that there's this much evil that's been at work right underneath, like right before our eyes, and they don't even hide it anymore. They even call it the Great Reset. And I haven't read the bill that Congress passed yesterday. There's a $1.9 trillion bill that was passed that is trying to move us in the direction of communism. So I will try to unpack that document or that bill. I know it's going to be long, so I may just focus on some of the highlights, and I will discuss that tomorrow, probably with my pre-market commentary for Preactive. So I'm going to do that. I will be doing a rosary for President Trump, as well as the state of Arizona. So the people involved there, like Liz Harris and Jovan, just call him Jovan because I can't even, you know, I know it's Bolzer, but Jovan just sounds better. Hey, Jovan. But I have spoken with him a couple times, and I will be trying to see if I could do, you know, we can try to coordinate our efforts and work together as a team. So, you know, on all this stuff going on with, you know, information gathering. Let's make sure we don't use the dangerous words whenever we talk about these things. But anyways, thank you guys for listening. Thanks for putting me in this, you know, I guess asking me to look into this, because I will definitely look into it. I'll find out what I can, and as I find it, I'll hopefully, you know, some of you can go and start looking as well on some of these names that I just looked at, and let's see if we can crowdsource some answers to these not so good developments that are taking place right before our eyes. So with that, God bless you. God bless your family and friends, and may God continue to bless the greatest nation in the history of the world. And I hope you find peace if you don't have it, and if you do have it, may it continue. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.